All right. So we'll start this Facebook Live here. My name is Christian Penner. I've got Josh Jankowski here with us. We're going to talk with you guys today about a circle marketing platform and then the Gallagher marketing suite and some of the technology that we're using to capitalize on leads. And we're going to go through kind of like the life cycle of a lead in a real estate transaction and how to leverage those leads and how to leverage your past clients. And just we're going to teach you and talk about a lot of different things that we're doing to create more business. So, Josh, if you want to introduce yourself a little bit.
Yeah, thanks, Christian. Thanks for having me on your live video here today. Josh Jankowski with GGMS, or the Gallagher Group Marketing Suite. And what we do is we do systems development and lead generation, sales training, marketing, things like that. But basically, for the purposes of today, we're going to stick on database management and the importance of having the proper technologies in place from the beginning to optimize every dollar that you're spending on the lead gen side, so that you can take control and stay in front of these people for the full cycle of an internet lead, which is about 3 to 18 months. And to be honest with you, if you focus more on the 9-month goal of building up a pipeline, getting your leads as cheap as you possibly can through a platform like Facebook, and then staying in front of those people using the proper technology while the competition falls off, you will then have yourself a pipeline full of deals at about the 9-month mark is kind of the data that we have.
That's right. A little history about us and Michael Gallagher and stuff. I met Mike probably a little over a year ago in Clearwater Beach. I was over there for a mortgage event and kind of met him, and we've been kind of talking and working through all lead management and Facebook leads. And I've even used Michael to run some of my Facebook ads. So I've learned a lot about him, and him and Josh have really built a system to help cultivate and manage and follow up on leads. And really, when he says, a 9-month term, it does take some time sometimes on these Facebook leads. It's not like they're ready today or, to close in 30 days. And that's sometimes a challenge for people. They don't have systems or follow-up campaigns or nurture campaigns or anything like that to really cultivate that lead. And they spend money to get it right, and then sometimes they give up too early. We find like that's the biggest thing. We've generated probably over 5,000 leads this year through Facebook, and they're at one stage or so throughout this life cycle process, and you just got to be able to stick with them and re-engage with them when it's time to re-engage with them, or to just manage them the right way. And Josh is going to go into that a little bit in a minute. I really want to talk about the foundation to make all this stuff really work here. I've been in the mortgage business for over 20 years, and I've been, internet marketing and cultivating leads off of Google and Facebook for many, many years. It's always a challenge to make sure you have the right follow-up systems and campaigns and things set up the right way. And what these guys have done is really put together a platform that kind of just does a lot for you. And like I said, he'll go into that a little bit in a minute. But I want to just briefly touch on a couple things that our circle marketing platform does for you to get you ready as building a foundation for your marketing platform. So we teach you how to set up your Facebook business manager, how to set up your ad accounts the right way, how to set up a Facebook business page, a community groups, where we can leverage when you get listings in a community. We help you create community groups where we create you as the rock star in that particular community, where you're inviting local neighbors to open houses, and we're doing we teach you how to do like voice broadcast, voicemail drops and text message campaigns, and we pull the data and we really create a synergy around every listing that you have, every open house that you have, and every just sold that you have. So we kind of go over all of that throughout the stages of our platform, and we also teach you how to leverage your current database of prospects and and past customers through retargeting. So we teach you how to retarget, your past clients, and Josh is going to talk a little bit about the strategies that we use to do that, and we'll show you how the big companies like Amazon and all the other companies are doing this and retargeting all of their customers, and we can show you how to do all of that stuff. So we'll go into that a little bit more. So for the people that don't currently have a Facebook business page, or they have one set up, if you're a real estate agent, you have one set up, but you're not using it correctly, or you've never set up a group page or anything like that, you would be somebody that you would want to fill out. There's a form link below this video here that you would fill out, and we would talk with you offline and basically kind of analyze what you have currently and then help you get to the next stages throughout this process. So what we'll do is we'll build up the foundation, like I said before, and then we'll go into kind of like the systems that we use to leverage the clients, whether you have an IDX website or a CRM or not. We're going to discuss with you the ones that we use and the people we've teamed up with to make this work the right way. And we've used all those platforms, right, Josh? We've used, Boomtown, Commissions Inc. What are the other ones out there?
Real Geeks, Boomtown, Commissions Inc., Ylopo, and then what we use and what we found. So one of the things that we've done over the years is we've gone into some of the top real estate companies in the country, people that are spending $200,000 a month on ad spend, and we've seen and dealt with every different platform and their back ends, their ability to do different things. And so what we've chosen is a company called Sierra Interactive. And the reason why we chose them is because it gives us the best tools to use from a standpoint of being able to follow up with people. An auto dialer that's built in, text messaging, site messages in the form of either text or video. So let's say somebody comes in, and if you guys have ever run any ads on Facebook or even Google, a lot of times people are going to come in and give you a fake phone number. Now, those people in a lot of people's systems get treated like they were just basically a fake lead, when the truth is that probably about 90% of those people actually are interested in what you have to sell, but they have a self-defense mechanism built up that prevents them from giving out their phone number anymore. Because, to be honest with you, as soon as the marketing and the follow-up from different real estate agents, because they've either logged in on Zillow or Realtor.com, or they filled out 15 lead forms on Facebook, well, they're going to give a fake phone number to prevent their phone from ringing so much. And so what you have to be able to do is stay in front of them. So one of the things that we use site messages for is that we can see that they're coming to the website, but we know they're not talking to us because they gave us a fake phone number. So after a certain amount of times coming to the website, we might pop up in the form of a video and kind of introduce ourselves, explaining to them that we want to do business with them and that we're not looking to overwhelm them with useless phone calls. And, basically that kind of narrative, and just try to get them to the point where they're comfortable enough to then give up that information, drop that guard a little bit, and then be willing to have a conversation, which is, all these different things that we're going to talk about, automation and the quick fixes and all that stuff. All this stuff is really designed to do is to tee you up to do your job in a more efficient way, so that you spend less time contacting or attempting to contact people that are not communicating every day. And this way you can spend more time on the phone with those that are interested in, setting an appointment, going to meet up, going to look at some properties. And so just, you want to keep in mind that no matter what technology you purchase or what you attempt to do, if it's working properly, it should make you more busy, more efficient. And the overall idea is that you're going to be doing more work. And if that work is more efficient, that's great. But don't do these type of things and then not be willing to get on the phone and do the human job of creating that relationship and getting that appointment and going and selling a house or doing a loan or whatever it is that you might be doing.
Exactly. A lot of times people, have all this technology set up, but they don't want to pick up a phone ever, and there's at some points through this life, cycle of a lead. If you use the systems that we've set up, people are going to be raising their hands when they're ready to be communicated with. And you're going to know that, right? I mean, the hardest thing is spending all this money to cultivate that, get that lead in. and you're calling and calling and calling them and trying to get in touch with them, they're not responding, and people just get frustrated, right? And they give up on them. Well, that lead, in 6 months, 9 months, they're probably going to be ready at that point. So you've got to just set up the systems to work with them, so when that time comes, they're ready. And you got to understand, it's not, it's not a lead that's going to come in and say, I need to close in 30 days. You may get a few of those here and there, but most of the time it's a long-term play, right? So.
Yeah, that's exactly. Now, when I said earlier, be prepared for the 9 months, I'm just trying to let you know that the bulk of your business is sitting inside of your database, whether it's your old database or you're generating new leads today. If they're not ready to get in a car, don't disrespect that lead by just letting them fall into your database and not continuing to reach out to them. Right. You will certainly, by just just the math of it all, you're going to get people ready to go right away. It's going to happen. You're going to get, that's the low hanging fruit. But the problem that most real estate agents make is that they focus so much on that low hanging fruit, they forget about the rest of the tree. That tree is your database. And inside of everything that you're doing, you have to think things through from the beginning to the end, which is what we do as a systems development platform, as we kind of take that work off of your plate. And, it's not rocket science. People can do these things, but it takes a lot of trial and error. It's basically conversational marketing to the point where now you've got them in as a lead. Now you have to be able to nurture them properly without over engaging with them and scaring them off. And also understanding that there's a lot of confusion from their standpoint, because maybe last time they bought a house, the internet wasn't even around. Maybe they didn't have Google or, all these other different things that are just overwhelming them. And they kind of get they get a little nervous. They're worried about scams. They're worried about liars, all these different things. And the best way to counteract that is to continue to touch them over time. And by touches, I don't mean, everybody's got this 10 days of pain or whatever when a lead comes in. But what about the 32 touches over the next 3 months or whatever? You just have to be able to be prepared to stay in front of them in an automated way that does not feel automated, because you don't want it to, as soon as they, for instance, a lot of times automation gets applied to people, and then because people don't have the proper systems to track it, you go back and ask the same question through automation to the same person 3 or 4 times. And now they realize that you're either A, not paying attention to what they're saying, or B, just dropping automation on them. In both cases, they're going to get, they're going to go on to the next guy down the street. And so what it is that we do, and what Christian's trying to help teach you, is that you have to be prepared from the beginning. All of your messaging has to be standard and relevant across the board. So if you run a first-time home buyers campaign, don't let your automation then start talking to them about a veterans loan, a VA loan, or a cash out refi, whatever it is that They just keep the messaging straight from start till finish. And that way, at least people will think that you're paying attention. And believe me when I tell you that your competitors, the ones that are using automation, a lot of times are not taking these safety precautions to make sure that they don't turn that lead away and push them back to their competitor.
Right. Facebook's designed so if you're marketing on Facebook and a lead, registers with you, you got to keep in mind, Facebook now has tagged that person, right, as a person that they're going to feed that person to another type of real estate marketing campaign, right? Yep. So you've got to be aware of that as you're going through this. So again, the whole goal here is to set them up with the right campaign, so they stay with you over time. And yep. And the neat thing about our system too is, what we will teach you is, Facebook's got, a tremendous platform with regard to, the ads that they can run and stuff like that. So what we'll teach you how to do is run ads to like a retargeting campaign, which is really more of a warm list. And we'll teach you how to do Facebook Live or any type of other, Facebook marketing that we do through engagement campaigns. That what we'll do is we'll teach you how to, run ads to a warm list and then to a cold list. And we set up about 4 or 5 different ad campaigns that work all together in a flow. So as people from a cold list come into your platform, it's automatically moving them into a warm, marketing campaign, and then into your system or our platform for the through the IDX Fed website, where now it's feeding them other information, properties and text messages and stuff. But so the idea is the first and foremost idea is running your Facebook ads the right way and making sure that you're not feeding somebody the same ad over and over and over, and you're paying for that every time they're clicking on it and filling out forms, and you're getting duplicate ads and duplicate leads throughout the platform. So the goal is you have to spend the time to set up the campaigns the right way so they leverage the clients the right way, and you're not spending a bunch of money and thinking it's not working because you're not set up the right way. I've seen this happen over and over and over. So my part of the plan is to really help you get some of that foundation set up. And then Josh, go into kind of a little bit on the platform that you guys have kind of put together to keep this lead alive and throughout the process.
Yeah, so with what we use is Sierra. We've been in and used, and don't get me wrong, these other platforms are good. If you don't have any platform, whatever platform you choose is going to be better than the one you don't have now.
Exactly.
But bang for your buck, and I don't work for Sierra, so it's not like I have an interest in promoting them. I just have gone down the path of trying every one of them out, and in an effort to accelerate the learning curve, I can tell you that for bang for your buck, the platform is now like $3.99, and having an IDX website that is an all-in-one system gives you the ability to set them up immediately without having to use Zaps or anything like that, but set them up on searches that are relative to what it is that they're doing. Again, playing into the idea that these customers need to be paid attention to, and they need to know that you're paying attention to them. So by setting them up on custom searches that meet their requirements as far as price range, area, timeline, things like that, and then having an all-in-one platform that gives you the ability to go after them in multiple different ways, to segment your database into different categories of readiness, i.e. like statuses, right? So that you can talk to them in different ways. For instance, when somebody first comes in, you're going to want to try to focus on building a relationship and setting up things like price range and area. Well, obviously, as time goes by, you want to be trying to set things up as far as getting appointments. I need to get in, let's take this experience and make it more human, and let's go meet up at a coffee shop, go meet up at one of the homes in your list, or come by the office and let's talk. Obviously, you're going to try to run down your buyer's presentation and things like that. But essentially, you have to have a good system in place to do that and a well thought out plan, because if you don't, then all you're doing is, like he said, as far as the marketing goes, as soon as somebody fills out one of my lead ads, Facebook gets paid for selling ads. And to do that, they need to have people to serve them up to that are willing to fill out the form. So as soon as you fill out my form, as soon as you refresh your screen, 3 seconds later, you're going to get hit with one of my competitors' ads. So I'm teeing my competitor up. Right. But the good thing about, so with that said, Facebook leads are not exactly exclusive. Now, they don't share that lead information with anybody else. That's true. So you can say they are exclusive, but because the platform is built to sell more ads, essentially you just have to plan for the fact that these people are going to fill out forms until they become beaten over the head with real estate agents and lenders calling them up.
Right.
And so taking that in mind, having the systems in place that are going to be there for the length of the sales process. And I don't know where exactly this audience is, but in Florida, where we live here, a lot of people coming from up north, a lot of people reaching out in the early stages, and they want to see lists and things like that so they can stay in touch with the market. But they tell you right up front, I'm not retiring and moving down there for 3 years, or I'm looking for an investment property on XYZ beach. And so you just want to be able to have a system that can handle all that information and continue to nurture through it. So do I have the ability to share my screen on this?
Yeah, let me check this out here. I think so. Hold on a minute.
Nothing like a little technology
right.
glitch at the beginning here. What I have is a piece of a slide basically, and what it shows is, because here's what people lose track of, and this is the biggest pain point that you may or may not know about your own business. You have a database of X amount of leads. Even if you get a lead that's free, it's a coworker, it's a family member, that lead goes into your database, and that lead came in for free. But every time you touch them, every time you use the technology that you pay for, every time you spend a minute of your time, you're investing money into that lead. So let's just say, for an example, that we generate our leads on Facebook for somewhere between $1.50 and maybe $5, depending on if it's a beachfront condo or whatever. But let's just say this, the base cost for a lead, even when it comes in for free, we'll mark that as $3 a piece.
Okay.
So if you have 3,000 leads in your database that you got for free, you have $9,000 invested in your database. Generally, a lot of people, especially if they don't know how to run Facebook ads, they are paying for another platform such as Zillow, Realtor.com, something like that. And depending on what market you're in, and I'll be nice, and I'll start it at $30 a piece. So on a $30, if your database is full of $30 Zillow leads and you have 3,000 of them, you now have $90,000 tied up in your database over the years. 10,000 leads is obviously $300,000. So the first thing you need to do is focus on your database. This is the tree I was talking about before. Forget about the low-hanging fruit. We can grab that easily with lead routing and inbound, catching them on the phone. The people that are ready to go are going to let you know. The people that need to be nurtured, those are the people that are in your database. So the first thing to do is maximize the amount of deals that you have coming from inside your own database that at this point you've currently wasted money on by having them sit there and you're not marketing to them. So how do we do that? We can do that in a couple different ways. One, you can take your database, upload it into Facebook as a custom audience, and start marketing again to them. And this might be even closed deals from the past. But as we all know, 4 years later, 7 years later, whatever it might be, they're either ready to refinance or sell that home and purchase a new home. Right. They might be willing, instead of doing either one of those things, you might have a bunch of people in your database that are in need of remodeling their home. Well, if you can partner with a company, one of the ones that we use is the rehab consultant, but basically put together a plan, let them know that now their equity's gone up. Now you have the ability to get a home improvement loan. And now you have the ability to remodel your home. So maybe you run an action plan of some sort that goes after and just lets everybody know that that's available. Sure. And then as luck would have it, maybe 10 people pop out. Well, you just created 10 deals out of nowhere from your database. So there's that. You can upload it as a custom audience. You can market to them in any way you want to. You can also market to them for free through emails to your own database. And that's also very productive. And to do those things, what we have are different action plans. And the action plans are segmented into a couple different categories. One is fully automated, and it works a lot like a Agent Legend, if you've ever heard of that. But essentially, it's an automated text message and email campaign that goes out. And what it's designed to do is it's going to shut off when they respond. And all it's trying to do is trigger them to respond to you. Now that they have their phone in their hand or they're near their computer. And now what you have to do as a human is get in there and do the work. They've responded. They've raised that hand. Let's make sure that we take advantage of that hand being raised and that we reach out to them in an effort to do business with them either again or for the very first time. We have other action plans that are traditional action plans, we call them. And what we use those for is to reach out and talk with people in different levels of readiness of whatever the process is. And those are what we call statuses. And basically it gives you a methodical way of going about talking with the people that are inside of your database that you paid to get there. And with that said, let me get off the screen share here because
I can't figure out how to flip it.
That's all right. You know what I'll do? I'll go ahead and I'll put it in the comments below. I'll give you a copy of the slide that I was just talking about. And what that is, it's just going to be a chart. And it's simple math. All of us should be somewhat good at math. But basically, it's just letting you know, it's putting it right in front of you. And it's a little bit painful to know that you have 22,000 leads in your database that you're not talking to. Some of the plans that we have actually, and when we implement them on clients, one thing that happens is they find out how many people they're not talking to. Another thing that happens is once we start hitting these people with these plans, they are immediately let know that because you're going to have people just by the nature of it that are going to come back and say, oh yeah, thanks buddy. I just bought last week. I bought 3 months ago. Then you can see what day they registered and you say, I had them. How did I miss this? And you missed it because you didn't have the proper systems in place to do the job that's needed to stay in front of them. And what you do then is you go back and you improve your systems. So that's a painful thing for a lot of our clients because they see immediately right in front of them that they missed an opportunity that they paid to get. And possibly they even teed that person up to do business with their competitor by getting them to click on their ad at that time.
Right.
And it's painful, but it's one of those good lessons to learn from, because you now see how important it is to make sure that you're making your calls, you're doing your dials, and you're responding to people when they respond to you.
That's it, man. Yeah, I mean, there's just so much value in kind of what we've built and put together and what you and Michael have done. So, I just want to kind of get it out there. We're going to probably maybe do some series of these as we kind of go through some of this. But this was basically a big overview of our platforms that we've kind of built out and to help you. So if you're a real estate agent and you're looking for to change some things up this year and understand kind of really what goes on behind the scenes with Facebook ads and Facebook marketing and really understand how to database market through retargeting or lead management, which is the biggest challenge that we found as talking to all these agents, is they don't have all these systems and platforms set up, and and then they never can convert the leads that they've spent money on and time to try to get. So listen, if you're interested in learning more about it, there is a link below there that you can fill out and send over to us, and we'll be more than happy to set up a time that we can discuss kind of what you have and how we can help you. And maybe you have systems that set up already, and you just need help with tweaking it. Listen, we're open to kind of see what you have and see how we can help you. So so that's it, man. So I think that was a good kind of start and explanation on what we have going on.
One more thing, Christian, one more thing. So as far as levels of problems go with whatever it is that you're having trouble with in your business, as complex as lead generation might seem to people, it's actually very easy. Why? Because you can throw money at that problem and it will fix itself. Meaning, if you have enough cash, you can go max out your market on Zillow or Realtor.com, and as long as you have enough cash, you can bring these leads in. But the real money is made in the follow-up. The real money is made in the investments that you make in the systems that you have in place that are going to create or fix the problem that everybody has by generating leads and not being able to get them to the closing table. The name of the game is conversion. So lead gen's great. It's awesome. It's definitely needed because the system doesn't work if you don't have leads coming in.
Right.
But Facebook does give you the platform to get the leads for the cheapest price and the platform to stay in front of them in the most amount of ways. And so with that said, I certainly hope that you guys will click the link below, fill out your contact information, and at least take the next step into learning and understanding what it is we're talking about. Christian's very good at being able to help with this kind of stuff. And of course, we're always here from the system development side to be able to help as well. So I hope what I had to say was helpful for you guys, and I look forward to speaking with you in the future.
Yeah, it was great, Josh. And I'm excited to kind of roll all this out and share it with some more people, and hopefully they'll fill out the form, get engaged with us, and we'll talk again soon, man. So I appreciate your time today, Josh. Have fun out there. Have a good weekend, and we'll connect next week.
Yep, there you go, guys. Talk to you then. Bye-bye.
All right, man. Thanks, Josh.